If your farm has livestock, having an accurate estimate of the total annual volume is important when planning manure nutrient applications. In this tutorial, you will learn how to estimate the known annual volume of manure available using 3 different methods available in SnapPlus. The first method involves estimating using livestock numbers. The second method estimates using storage volumes, or you can use the third method, which estimates using spreader capacity and loads applied. Just a quick note that the first and second methods should be filled out if they are relevant to your operation, since both are required for a winter spreading plan. The first method, using livestock numbers, is done by entering all of the animals that produce manure on the farm by type and size or weight. The second method estimates manure totals using the farm's manure storage. This may provide a more accurate estimate of manure totals because it is based on the farm's actual production. But keep in mind that if the animals are added or subtracted, it will influence the storage total. The third method calculates manure totals by entering spreader volumes and numbers of loads per year. Because this method uses loads per year, it must use previous year's records to estimate. Actual loads can be entered, but only after the spreading has occurred. Also note that the spreader or spreaders need to be calibrated to ensure that the volume per load is accurate. Contact the local county land conservation office or extension agent for assistance calibrating the manure spreader if needed. So now that we know the 3 methods available in SnapPlus, let's do a quick example of each one. Before we start, let's go to the nutrient screen to see what information we should already have entered and what number we are using for the estimators to obtain. The different nutrient sources for the farm should have been entered here. This describes the type of manure and nutrients present but not the amount. This is the number we are going to calculate using the estimators. Let's start with the first method of estimating using livestock numbers. Open the Livestock Manure Production Estimator. We will be using the top table in the tab to do this. Let's assume the farm has 200 milking cows at 1,400 pounds, 40 heifers at 1,000 pounds, and 100% of the milking cow's manure is collected as a liquid, and 100% of the heifer's manure collected as a solid. Click the green plus sign to add a row of livestock, and pick the type and size from the drop-down menu. Click OK, and then select whether this animal type is present in winter, number of head, total number of days spent on farm per year, and percent collected as solid and liquid. Entering the subfarm and barn name is optional. Collected tons and gallons per year will be automatically calculated as you go, as well as farm totals. Make note of the totals and enter them on the Nutrient Sources screen. Now when planning, SnapPlus can calculate the total nutrients available from manure applications. Now let's do the second method. The second method for estimating annual manure volume is from the manure storage on the farm. This method may provide a more accurate estimate. Let's take a look at the nutrient screen again and make sure the nutrient source is listed for the manure storage. Here is a manure source for pit manure. Let's assume the farm has a liquid manure storage lagoon that holds a maximum of 1.5 million gallons that usually is emptied 2 times per year. Let's open the Livestock Manure Production Estimator. We will be using the table on the bottom left to do this. Click the plus sign and enter a name for the storage unit. and click OK. Enter the manure source and type stored in this unit, whether the storage size is measured in tons or gallons, maximum capacity of the unit, and the number of times it is emptied per year. This number can be entered as a fraction if the storage was emptied before it was full. For example, if the storage was emptied 2 times when it was 3/4 full, you would enter the number of times emptied as 1.5. Collected gallons per year will be automatically calculated. Make note of the totals and enter them on the nutrient screen like we did in the last example. The third and final method for estimating total annual manure production is to use the spreader volume and load method. Let's take a look at the nutrient screen again and make sure the nutrient source is listed for the manure storage. Here is the manure source for daily haul. Let's assume the farm has a box spreader that has been weighed with a full load at 5 tons. Last year's records indicate a total of 128 loads were spread. A quick note, before entering spreader information, it is a good idea to get your spreader weighed with a full load and calibrated for an accurate spreading rate. Contact the local county land conservation office or extension agent for assistance. Let's open the manure production estimator. We will be using the table on the bottom right to do this. Click the plus sign and enter a name for the spreader, and then click OK. Then enter the size of the spreader's load and units. Here you can use the number of loads from the previous year's records if you have them. The amount spread annually as well as farm totals will be calculated automatically. If you have done a calibration, you can enter the information here. Once again, make note of the total and enter it on the nutrient screen. Using one or all of these methods for estimating manure totals is a necessary step in getting ready to plan applications. To recap, the 3 different methods available in SnapPlus to estimate known annual volume of manure are estimating using livestock numbers, estimating using storage volumes, or estimating using spreader capacity and loads applied. This is the end of the tutorial on estimating farm totals of manure in the Manure Production Estimator tab.